Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. This one is at Laguna Seca, which is next week in the IMSA calendar. We're doing this currently on VRS conditions. The slap was a 113.658. There's definitely a point 0.4 in there, even just on the session optimal. We can see a 0.5, but I kept messing up the corkscrew, which you'll go through later. It's definitely a 0.4, possible 0.5 would be a pretty good lap. So yeah, a few mistakes, but I'm not spending too much time on this track, car track combination. So yeah, let's go straight into it. So coming off the pit wall, we just want to be as close as possible, just short on a distance. And then we diagonally brake into the first corner, and we basically lift and coast. I covered this in my sleeping video. We always want to lift and coast before we apply the brake. Just a tiny amount. It's not really to save fuel. It's just for the balance of the car. But yeah, you can watch a separate video for that. So yeah, we brake at basically the 4 board, brake nice and early, and we can use this. I don't even know what this is. Like this tarmac here on the right. You could probably use more than this. You can actually use a lot more. You can get your left tires on this white line, but I need to experiment more to see if it's faster. But I'm pretty sure it would be. It's just if you do too much, you get the left inside locking. So it's really it's like a fine needle of how much is correct. So yeah, we start to really turn in after this first white line, but obviously, as we all know, I don't use turning marker references, turning points even. And we really want to aim for this first sausage curb and sort of come up to it in a parallel, so you're almost facing the same direction as this curb, and it's going to set you up for the double apex. So yeah, nice early turn in, and then kind of get the car near the middle of the track. We don't want to go all the way out wide here, and we don't want to be too far in. If we get stuck in, you're basically going to be stuck at a cadence pressure, although it looks like I'm stuck for a very long time here, so it's maybe something I can explore. But so if I was going to correct this cadence pressure, maybe I would go slightly wider, and then I could get back on throttle more cleanly. And then the target for this is to be as close to the left side, the left curb as possible, which we sort of missed. So this is another area of improvement for me. My driver's excuse is that I cannot see this left curb at all because my field of view is very small. Actually I can. So I lie. But yeah, we want to get spat out onto this curb. Don't touch any of the dirt on the right, and we want to start braking at the 2 board. So here we start to lift, and then we brake, no crossover. We use the curb on our left as much as possible, but be very careful. I'm interested because it never feels like I exploit it fully. Yeah, there's still some margin there. I feel like it could be a bit more than this. Like here, left side tires there. But yeah, you have to be very careful because it's very easy to get your left outside tire stuck on this, and then you just spin. So just be very careful. And then the trick is for this corner is really to just balance the car on the brake. Do not use too much steering angle here. In fact, I did record a video of how to use less steering angle and use the brake to actually rotate the car, but it hasn't been uploaded yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to upload it. But yeah, we want to aim for this red sausage curb again and cadence, and then get back on throttle. We really, this sector is crucial to manage your rear tire temps. If you slip too much here, then the next corner you're going to screw up completely. So cadence and then push. It's like a saying that I do. Cadence, push, cadence, push. It's always like this. Apart from in very high speed corners where it should just be a straight arc upwards, but it's a different subject. So yeah, cadence, push. And then here we want to exploit, obviously, all the way on our left, start braking at the 2. We want to brake nice and early here to rotate the car early, have the minimum speed pretty early on, and then push on the throttle as disciplined as you can. We have a slight cadence here. It's at a very high percentage because we have a bit more downforce here compared to the last corner, but we really want to be disciplined. If you have a crap setup, this is how you know. In those 2 corners, it's so hard to get a good exit because the car will just be sliding everywhere. This can be setup or driving related, so just, yeah, if you have a bad setup though, just be aware, no matter what you do, it'll just be junk. So just be aware of that. And then for the next corner, we just ride this curb nice and simply and start braking about at this white line here. And I shift down into second for this corner, and I really try and aim for this sausage curb again. It's sort of like a pattern. So aim for the sausage curb and then track out nicely and focus on getting quite a good exit here. So yeah, really just carry the speed, and then nice disciplined push on the throttle. Try not to get spat out too wide because you have camber here, which will help you out if you're on the inside. So just use it to all your advantage, and then end up on this curb here. And then same again for this corner, we get all the way on the curb and brake near enough at the 2 board. And we really try and send it in and get on throttle before the apex. Basically, you have a compression here, so the car will compress, grip up. So you want to push to 100% as we compress. And we should get a nice stable exit, although we had to counter steer a little bit here, which is probably just being a bit too aggressive on the throttle. But you can be very aggressive here because you have a lot of downforce and you have that compression. Okay, so for the next corner, we brake just after this white line here, nice and early. And then we want to decrease the pressure over the crest, like so. So you can see the dip here. This is after the crest because the car will lighten up. And then we get back on the brake, increase the pressure, sort of aim for the inside here, try not to get the track limit, it's very easy to do. And then aim for this curb on the outside. I don't really use a reference. I know some people use a tree. Let me just check. Maybe you could use this tree to know that you're lined up with the curb here. Yeah, you can definitely use that tree. I just don't use any marker for here. I feel like maybe turning in first is okay here, and then short shifting into second here would be probably better than me trying to control the throttle in first gear for an extended period of time. And then for this corner, we want to be sort of in the middle of the track. Use the camera to our advantage. Here the car will compress, and then we can get back on throttle, like so. And you want to be very careful on this exit curve because it dips down so much, and you can really slide out the rear, and you'll screw up this corner. And then for the next corner, try and get as far left as you can. Shift into third and get as close to the sausage curb as possible. Here I got very impatient, and I lost quite a bit of time here. So just be very careful. Then for the last corner, we want to brake around about the 2 board. Use all the curb on the right. Aim for the sausage, but don't actually hit it too much. And then track out nicely on the exit. Have a nice cadence pressure, gently push. So cadence push. And then just stick to the inside. And bam, you got an okay-ish lap. It definitely could be improved. So what are the areas of improvement? As we just saw, turn 1 was an area of an improvement. Let's see, 10-1 was an area of improvement, even though my optimal is very close to it. Could still be improved, as we saw in the second apex. There's a bit more track limit to exploit. The 2 right-handers, there definitely is a lot more time in there. The uphill left-hander, yeah, this is one that I very much struggle with actually. It's very hard to have the correct speed coming into it because you want to prioritize the exit quite a lot. You want to prioritize the exit a lot, not even just quite a lot. And it can sometimes be very hard to time the throttle, the moment of which you push the throttle to get a good exit. Very, very easy to overslow, overpush, etc. So I just need more hours to properly dial this in. And then sector 5, so the right-hander, this one, and the last corner, there's definitely, I was too far over to the left here. We could have exploited more track, and it was just a bit messy overall. We missed this apex slightly. So it's just a little bit messy. So there's definitely more time in this lap, but for now, I think it will do. Thank you very much. Hopefully it helped.